Local programming on KRWG made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
Coming up next, a soldier fighting for our freedom comes home, and he's getting help from neighbors building his future. It's land we see and many of us use every day. Now there's a push to help protect it. We'll explain how you can help.
I was one of the persons that I said, hey, where am I going to get my next meal? And this one, it has saved us a lot.
And in a tough economy, a group of seniors are getting a much needed hand putting food on the table. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carlos Correa, and for the next half hour, I'm taking you around the community. Living Here is a new program all about you and this great place we call home. You know, someone getting the opportunity to live the American dream is a soldier from Horizon City, Texas, who recently came back from deployment to find a little surprise from the community. It's a day Army Specialist Adrian Garcia will never forget.
I fell to the bed of the truck, and I felt this weird numbing sensation.
In March 2007, while stationed in Iraq, a rocket-propelled grenade hit his unit's Humvee. The attack injured 2 other soldiers, but Garcia suffered the most, losing both of his legs.
It was scary. It was kind of like being in a dream at first, and you know, once they sedated me, I was able to calm down. I was still crying, but you know, once I fell asleep, I woke up. It was like I was born again. You know, that's how I see it. But I don't feel like I lost my legs. It's like a second chance at life.
Garcia is medically retired from the military and still getting used to his new life.
You know, I gave my legs for this country, and I would have given so much more.
Home for Our Troops is a national group helping disabled servicemen and women live a more independent life. The organization provides homes for veterans at no cost.
We're at a point in our country's history where a few decades ago, we had it completely backwards, where the country didn't give any support to the troops that were coming home, and we're trying to, I guess, pioneer a new American attitude where we got to support these guys that are over there.
The construction project is a community-wide event that brings generations together. It's the key to every home built.
We absolutely can't do it without the volunteers. Every house we do across America, it's just unbelievable to me, the people that come out and support us and support our troops.
Most of the volunteers have never been part of the home building process, but know what it's like lending a hand to those in need.
That's something I can do for the community, something I can pay back to the soldiers.
Felix Martinez is an electrical contractor who decided to bring along his son Christian so he too can know what it's truly like making a difference in someone's life.
I think it's a great experience being able to help out a soldier from our community who fought for our freedom, and I'm able to be here because he fought for freedom so I could wake up every morning and do what I please.
But before Garcia can open the door to his new home, organizers of the build will have to pull their resources together. The economy has slowed donations, but leaders say people are always willing to give what they can.
So far, we're doing great. We have the plumbing, we have the concrete, we have the framing, and we're moving forward with the next phases.
There is a banner that hangs right in front of Specialist Garcia's future home. It's a place volunteers can leave a special note expressing how they feel.
I'm in awe because, you know, I always hear, you know, that we support our troops, but this is actually them donating their time and their services, and it's going to put me in tears. You know, I'm not going to have to worry about, you know, nicking my hands on this door or not being able to go into this room. I'm going to be able to do everything, cook and clean for myself and live independently, be free.
And we wish Army Specialist Adrian Garcia all the best in his new home. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the organization, log on to homeforourtroops.org. Now, living along the border, we've all heard of the ongoing problems happening in Ciudad Juarez, but a group aimed at providing shelter to many families isn't backing down. Despite all the violence, volunteers from all over are still coming together to give back. There is a long list of families waiting to hear from David Robertson, the executive director of Casa por Cristo.
When you've built almost 3,800 homes in a community, the community knows you.
For close to 20 years, Robertson and volunteers from his organization have gathered and traveled across the border, building 1 to 2 bedroom homes.
This is something that was totally beyond anything they could ever hope or dream for. This is something that they couldn't have ever done themselves. And for you to come in and say, here's a house, bam, it's not going to rain in here, the wind's not going to blow through, you're going to be cool in the summer, you're going to be warm in the winter. That was life-changing for them.
The group teams up with churches in Mexico where pastors help find families in need of shelter.
The reason we have the local pastors do it is because if I walk over there, I'm going to want to build a house for everybody. It's just all going to be overwhelming to me. And so we do it through the local pastors because they're the ones living in the community.
Once the family is identified, they go through an application process, and then workers with Casa por Cristo find teams all over the United States to sponsor and build the home.
There's a benefit for our families that we're building for, obviously, but also the benefit for our teams that are coming down to be empowered to gain a larger worldview, a bigger perspective.
Jorge Alvarez is just one of the many volunteers helping build homes.
Now when I have a problem, if I think, oh, well, I'm not driving the car that I always wanted, I think I have a car. When I complain that, a pipe burst in my house, I think I have a house that has plumbing inside of it.
Alvarez admits he wasn't too sure about crossing the border, especially during these times where drug violence in Ciudad Juarez has quickly made it one of the most dangerous places in the world.
There's murders everywhere. Evil and hate is going to be found everywhere, but the need is there despite it, whether we're going to have a peaceful border or not, whether we have good trade policies or not, whether the drug demand goes up or down, the need is there.
Alvarez says he wishes he had a come-to-Jesus realization for volunteering with Casa por Cristo, but it was more shame that drove him to help.
They're not any different than you are. They might be in a different country, they might be in a different economic situation, but the kids are enjoying themselves the way that we enjoy ourselves. The families needs to eat just like we'd like to eat, So when I go out there, at first I thought it was going to be something, where I'm helping them, and now I come back from building and all I can realize, or all I think about is what they gave to me.
Volunteers with the group have built close to 4,000 homes, but annual construction has slowed since the violence began.
Is anything with MX at the end of it, people are afraid to go to right now. The violence has affected our teams coming down to build, but our teams that come, since the violence has started, we've crossed over 12,000 volunteers and not had a single incident. Had no issues with any violence at all.
Leaders with the group have changed some things to help keep volunteers safe. For example, workers are not allowed to visit the downtown area or leave the build site after dark.
So there's been times where they come in and say, you know what, it's not safe to build in my colonia. And so for like 2 years we didn't build in the Felipe Angeles, Siglo XXI, that area right across from UTEP. We didn't build in those areas for about 2.5 years. And we didn't build anything farther down the valley than Loma Blanca, because if you really look at the statistics now, the vast majority of the violence is happening down the valley. And so we don't build down there.
The group stopped accepting applications 2 years ago in order to fulfill its mission and build homes to those still on its waiting list. And despite all the dangers, volunteers are still willing to cross over in order to make a difference in someone's life. Still to come, meet a college student with a mission to help people living with disabilities. We'll tell you about his journey across the country.
I have to say, it's one of the most beautiful places, probably the most beautiful place I've ever lived.
And later, we'll talk with an artist showcasing some of New Mexico's natural beauty. But first, there's a big push to help protect and preserve much of the land used here by many people every day. Matt Bergans of Las Cruces has a lot of appreciation for everything nature has to offer.
It's the love of wilderness, the love being outdoors, the love of something that's not man-made.
He spends most of his time cycling and hiking along the Organ Mountains and works hard to encourage people to do the same.
I believe that outdoors in general are very important to people because there's a shared love for the beauty of wilderness, of the outdoors.
Together with other community members in Doña Ana County, Braganza is calling on lawmakers to protect the Organ Mountains Desert Peak region.
One has just immaculate beauty. These are also places that I personally like to climb in and hike, and I want to share that with my child and my friends and family as well.
Tortugas, Turtle Mountain, Sacred Mountain, we stand in your shadow, your strength grounds us, beauty visible.
The group, Nuestra Tierra, Our Land, Our Future, consists of several local and state Hispanic leaders, all of which gathered at the base of Tortugas Mountain to encourage others to support protection of the land.
This land connects all of us, different cultures. This land is part of our heritage.
As a person of faith, as a mother, and as a director of an organization that fights for the assets and resources of our states, it's important that we stand here for our environment and for our resources in our native lands.
Much of the region is currently proposed for protection by both Senators Jeff Bingaman and Tom Udall. The Doña Ana County Conservation and Protection Act, introduced last year, would protect nearly 400,000 acres and create a more than 109,000-acre national conservation area around the Organ and Doña Ana Mountains. And there's definitely a lot of land out there, and if you're interested in taking part in the cause, just go to doñaanawild.org. Now, these same paths are being used for more than just walking. Let me show you. A local college student is using these very same paths for training, and he's making a mark of his own, traveling nationwide with a special message. Bryce Nanez is on a mission, and with every mile he passes, there's a message left behind in every community.
I want people to understand that people with disabilities are people first.
Bryce is a member of the fraternity Pi Kappa Phi, a Greek organization that operates Push America.
I want people to understand that people with disabilities are people first.
Each year, the fraternity raises about $300,000 and dedicate thousands of hours to local organizations serving people with disabilities.
Its mission is to build leaders of tomorrow by serving people with disabilities today.
Each year, the fraternity raises about $300,000 and dedicate thousands of hours to local organizations serving people with disabilities.
It feels good. It feels good to help anyone. So, people with disabilities, they're people, just like everyone else. It's just some people tend to overlook the needs that they might have.
Helping those with disabilities has become a big part of Bryce's life. He's participated in several events across the country and has traveled hundreds of miles on his bike.
It's tiring, but you kind of put that you kind of put it aside because you're there for a bigger reason, and your legs are in pain sometimes, but you kind of think of it as, well, there might be someone in a wheelchair who wishes they could feel that pain, or could trade places with you just to ride a bike or even walk. So, it's motivation for the greater purpose, I guess.
Bryce trains on his bike between 3 and 5 hours a day to prepare for a single event, and his family, well, they've become a major part of his success.
My brother, he's like one of my best coaches. My brother and my dad, whenever I'm struggling to keep going and stuff, I get tired. I picture their voices in my head. And the giving continues. Many seniors in our community are taking part in a monthly food program that's bringing them some added relief to their pocketbooks. Watch this.
Good morning, Frank. How are you?
Every month, Annie E. Jimenez walks to the office at St. Genevieve's Village with a few ideas of what she wants to eat.
Spaghetti, and I make everything, tuna fish sandwiches. I enjoy cooking. I started making a sauce.
Annie gets to pick up to 42 items on the grocery list, a value of $60.
Yes, I love coming in here.
The food program gives seniors already living in the low-income housing community some added relief.
I used to worry about it too. I was one of the persons that I said, hey, where am I going to get my next meal? And this one, it has saved us a lot.
Since the food pantry is located near all the units, it's also saving seniors money on gas and allowing residents to get to know one another.
What's neat that we have a pantry here is that they don't have to go off-site. So Some don't have transportation, so that's a problem. They're also here in their home, their community, so there's not the embarrassment factor of standing in line with another agency. They're right here at home.
Most of the food comes from the Roadrunner Food Bank of New Mexico. Workers say the need is growing so much, they encourage other senior facilities to help provide similar services.
Once a program is set up and going, getting volunteers involved is not a huge issue. The cost is not prohibitive. It's something that just helps get food to people where they need it.
You know, just looking up at the sky, you can somehow make out certain images from the clouds. And local artist Michael Gutierrez is telling us just how he captures the beauty of New Mexico.
When you go out and you do your work, tell me a little bit about the stories behind each cloud that you see up in the sky.
They kind of tell me their own story. I don't really search them out. I just I go out there and I feel it. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna see, and generally it tends to be, as of lately, it's like more, I guess, dragon skies, rattlesnakes. But it seems like the sky's changing, and you know, just anything, and just kind of feel it out. I've seen so many things, cats, you know, like big cats, people. Indians, guardians, my guardians.
Now, is there a certain time where you go and shoot these, or is it one of those planned events, or do you just show up and start taking pictures?
I think it just depends. I generally like to shoot around a magic hour in the afternoons, sunset. I have shot in the morning. Yeah, you know, those are usually the best time for the colors too, because they hit the mountains and they hit the sky really nice.
You want people to acknowledge what's around them, the beauty of where they live, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Las Cruces especially, I have to say, it's one of the most beautiful places, probably the most beautiful place I've ever lived. And it seems like, the great thing is that it's still wild. It still has this wild feeling in this massive sky that's just amazingly beautiful that you know, I hope that people will enjoy more now or look up, you know. I mean, I know we see it every day, but it's so beautiful. I mean, I can't even express how wonderful it is.
You have a show right now in Santa Fe?
Yes, I have a show, The Light Portal, New Vision for the People is going on in Santa Fe right now. It opened on February 10th at the Rouge Cat. It's 101 Marcy Street. It'll be the segue to Imprint New Mexico, which is my love letter to the people of New Mexico. This is a special series for me, the Imprint series in general. Imprint New Mexico will be this series. It's the culmination of over a year's project, shooting these sky energies and these formations, and just sharing the beauty with all the people in New Mexico, all the people of the States, the world, you know.
And then one more time, tell us the website where people can find your work and more about you.
Sure, it's www.michaelgutierrezphotography.com.
All right, Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, great, thanks.
Still to come, the man giving people in southern New Mexico something to do. We'll talk about how he's opening the doors and helping promote new talent. And later, meet DJ Gene-e-ous. He's not just entertaining crowds, he's preparing for his future. But first, it's never too late to get fit. Las Cruces personal trainer Oscar Carranza is helping people reach their goals. Oscar Carranza is inspiring people to take charge of their health and well-being.
It's the best feeling in the world, seeing someone change their life day by day and the struggles they have doing that.
Carranza is a personal trainer and the owner of Elite Fitness and Lifestyle in Las Cruces. His goal, to get people to move.
My business is based on the pursuit of health and fitness in the way of a lifestyle. We're trying to promote health in any way we can, whether by lifting weights, sports, exercise, different forms of exercise as well.
Carranza takes teaching fitness very seriously. In fact, before he became a personal trainer, he used to be on the other side of things.
I was injured playing soccer and was off of my feet for a while and gained a good 40 to 50 pounds over the course of three, 4 months, and getting back into the gym. I had a good buddy of mine who was a personal trainer at the time, and introduced me to the whole world, and fell in love with it.
Now he's taking his knowledge of strength training and saving lives by getting people up and active.
Personal training can consist of many different things. It mostly entails of throwing yourself into someone else's life and seeing fitness and health from their perspective. And from there, trying to adjust it in a way that they will benefit them the most.
Carranza trains at World Gym in Las Cruces, but often travels for work. He trains people at home, in parks, and other places around town. So we're here today with Justin Hodges, and you are the owner of Party Tenders Incorporated here in Las Cruces. Tell us a little bit about what your organization does.
We are the party in Las Cruces. We like to provide all late night entertainment, DJs, bands, music, anything fun we like to do.
When you started this company, did you know in advance like what you wanted to do with it?
Absolutely not. It started at I believe at Hooters over some drinks, some food. We at first, at the time I was bartending in college, and I started getting some requests to do stuff on the side. Weddings, quinceañeras, those stuff. So it really started with me auditioning myself as a bartender for private events.
What role does social media play in your business?
I love social media. I know I'm not the only one addicted to it also. My company's addicted to it as well. Twitter, Facebook.
Are you surprised by all the reaction?
Twitter is still hard for me to get followers here. My personal account and my business too. It hasn't quite hit the air too much, I think, yet, but Facebook is full swing here. I love it. We post all of our pictures on there, so we keep audiences engaged with that. Video, we have a video app too for our YouTube, which is all on there. Like all the flyers, events. The events save my life when it comes to promoting these things. So not only do I have to go, I can print up flyers and hand them out. People come, show up, 10:30ish is usually a good prime time to come. We supply a lot of party favors, glow sticks, glow glasses, glow anything, cool wristbands. My first out-of-state DJ booked was really Johnny Cage from El Paso, and at the time I was like, this is awesome. He's on the radio, he's a local celebrity here, and he still pulls in one of the biggest crowds that I've ever had. So we use him every first Thursday.
You're partnering up with What's Up Las Cruces. Tell us a little bit about that and what they kind of bring to the party.
Absolutely. I met them once, and this is before I really thought it was not important, but the high quality pictures that we have, that's all from What's Up Cruces, and that's our partnership that I have with them too. They provide me with high quality pictures. I provide them with flyer, logo, signage, word of mouth. Pretty much the guys are actually from El Paso. Oh, and wow. So they moved here, they didn't know anyone almost, so. And I've lived here about 6 years now, so I've caught on to a few more people. But I think that we're integral to each other's sake.
If someone wants to find more information about your company, where can they go?
Social media again, facebook.com/partytendersinc, INC. Also our website, partytendersinc.com. Real easy, everything's Party Tenders Inc. Twitter, Facebook.
And so you're opening the doors to a lot of people, and one individual is DJ Gene-e-ous, who goes to New Mexico State University. Tell us a little bit about him, where you found him and his talent.
He hit me up because I have every Thursday we have DJs at Buffalo Wild Wings, which I'm heavily involved with too. Amir started that, followed up by DJ Technotics, and then DJ Gene-e-ous is my current resident. I love that guy to death. He's I think he's only 20 years old. Responsible, punctual. His music selection is awesome. He's already into his own producing. His stage presence is great too. And he's just so reliable. What I want for him is he's my guy in town. He's the guy I use to open. He's the guy that I trust the most to be there in time, to use his equipment, everything. And the fact that, like I said, he's only 20, he's still in school and he's doing what he loves already. He's so far ahead of the rest of the game.
But we're gonna watch a quick story about DJ Gene-e-ous right now. But Justin, thanks so much for joining us today.
Cool, thank you, Carlos.
For as long as he can remember, Eugene Pedraza always had an ear for music.
I think music is the biggest influence in my life.
And it's something Eugene can't live without.
Somebody asked me if I would rather go blind or go deaf, which would I choose? And I'd definitely rather go blind than go deaf ever, because I just love music so much. So.
He played trumpet at the age of 9 and later became heavily involved in playing mariachi music. His interest in the genre was so strong, Eugene even signed with a professional group out of El Paso. But it wasn't until recently that his calling came to him by mere accident.
It was September 15th of 2010. I actually just went to El Paso to buy a few things for school. And my friend Alonso was looking for a car audio system, and he decided that we would go shop in El Paso, and so I decided I'd tag along with him because I needed to buy a few things myself.
What he stumbled upon was some DJ equipment that would forever change his life.
I just fell in love with it then, and I splurged a little bit and decided I would just buy it, not knowing anything about it whatsoever, you know. And so I decided to buy it, and it was quite the investment.
And through hard work and lots of practice, Eugene Pedraza turned into DJ Genius.
My dad, he's always called me Genius since I was a little kid, just because my name's Gene or Eugene, and he always just says Gene short for genius. So I just sort of came up with the way I spell it. It's just different. I didn't want it to just be the regular gene-e-ous, you know. I want to do something with my actual name. So I spelt it a little differently, and I don't know, it just stuck.
And DJ Genius is becoming a household name around town.
It's really nice to, know that people have gained respect for me.
And it shows. DJ Genius helps bring in the crowd at local sports bars, mixing songs for hundreds of people. Often he'll play his own self-produced tracks, something he wouldn't mind doing as a career.
I'd say DJing in a nutshell comes down to you have 1 to 4 tracks actually. It just depends what kind of controller you have, but you're trying your best to blend one track with another track without the audience noticing that you mix them in.
DJ Genius admits mixing is a skill that takes time to develop, which is why he spends most of his days listening to his favorite tunes, getting ideas for when he takes to the stage.
I try and read the crowd as best possible. If they're not feeling a track, or if I can tell that they're not feeling something, then I'm gonna try and switch the genre or switch to, something different.
Genius is on the road to even more success. He gets invited to spin at various locations and even private events. But wherever his path takes him, Genius plans to give back.
If you make it, you have to go back to the roots and understand that, you have it good, but there's probably about 45 other people who don't have it good at all. Anyone can make it, it just takes a lot of work, and I feel that with the right work ethic that they have, they've made it, so I hope to, strive to have similar excellence.
And we wish DJ Genius continued success in everything he does. And that's all the time we have. I hope you had fun exploring our community. I'm Carlos Correa. We'll see you next time.